Hello students, this is again a doubt coming from many students because they are confused in the string constraint equations, and not only they are confused, it's my experience that many students are not clear with this concept. They are not clear with the resolution of vector, they are not clear with which velocity need to be resolved, and many other issues are there. So today I am going to discuss this problem in a detailed way, in a descriptive approach. I will discuss this problem in the descriptive or subjective approach. I will not go for any objective method, though it can be solved by objective methods very quickly. But today my purpose is to make you clear about the concept, and that will be done through a complete subjective approach. So what is the question now? This question is like P and Q are 2 points, right? P and Q. They are 2 points and they are coming downward with the speed u. P and Q are the 2 points which are coming downward with the speed u, and this mass is going upward with certain speed. Let's say this mass is going upward with speed v and this Q point is coming downward with the speed u. Similarly, point P is moving downward with the speed u. And you have to select an option between these 4 options. The 4 options are given, right? We have to find the value of v, and accordingly we have to select whether A is correct, B is correct, C is correct, or D is correct. A very famous question, but confusing also. Students are confused whether they have to decompose or resolve v, or they have to decompose or resolve u. That's the biggest confusion in this question. So I will solve it in the descriptive approach. Let's say this mass m moves upward to a new place here. Because it is moving upward, so after some time this mass will be at some height from the initial level. It will move upward, and I denote it by a distance called delta y1. Let's say delta y1 is the distance moved by mass capital M. During a time of, I will take the time interval also. The time from this point to this point is now delta t, and I assume the time to be tending to 0. That's very small time, and the reason why I am taking very small time, so that I can relate the instantaneous velocities. So during a very small or negligible time delta t which tends to 0, this mass has moved up delta y1. As a consequence, this portion of string, this slanted portion of string, let's say it has a length of L1. As a consequence, now the string from pulley to that mass will be like this. And let's say this portion of string has a length L2. And now this point P, the point P will move downward, and the string on the other side of pulley will be like this. I assume that point P is moving downward by the distance delta y2. Let's say mass m is moving upward by delta y1, and in the same time interval point P is moved down by delta y2. Remember, time interval is tending to 0. So delta y1 and delta y2, they are not very small values, they are not very large values. In fact, they are small values. Delta y1 is very small, delta y2 is also very small. These distances are very small. So delta y1 is tending to 0. Similarly, delta y2 is also tending to 0. What is the logic behind question? I said I will solve it in the subjective way. I am not going to discuss it in the objective way. The logic behind this question is inextensible string. That's the logic behind question. If the string is inextensible, then the amount by which this segment of string, the length of this segment of string reduces from L1 to L2. So any reduction in this portion of string, any reduction in the length of this portion of string should be compensated by the increase in length on this side of pulley. Because if a string is inextensible, total length of a string should remain constant. So if length on one side of pulley decreases, then obviously the length on other side of pulley must increase by the same amount. So now my aim is to find what is change in the length of a string on this side. For that I will draw a separate diagram. Let's say this segment was L1, then the new segment is delta L2, new segment is L2, and this distance is delta Y1. This is the same diagram. Notice that delta Y1 is tending to 0, that is a very small length. What I am going to do is, considering this, let's say it is a point O, considering O as a center point and taking this L2 as radius, considering O as center, taking L2 as radius, I will draw a circular arc. So this is the arc whose radius I have taken as L2. This is the arc of radius L2, and the center of this arc will be at point O. And let's say this point is P. Let's say this point is A. Now I want to find L1 minus L2. I want to find L1 minus L2. Let me name other points. Let's say it is B, it is C point. L1 minus L2. What is L1 minus L2? So L1 is the length from O to B. L2 is the length from O to C. But OC is same as OA. Being a circular arc and O as the center, OC is the radius of arc. OA is also the radius of arc, and therefore OA equals to OC. So it is OB minus OA, and notice that OB minus OA is actually length AB. O to B minus O to A is nothing but the length AB. What is length AB? This angle is given in this question as theta. Though it is a circular arc, though this portion is arc, but for a very small length, this arc can be approximated as a linear segment. You can approximate this arc as a line, straight line, and then it is a 90-degree angle. You will get a right angle triangle, and for this approximated right angle triangle, this theta angle, if you take cosine of theta angle, if you take a cosine of theta angle, you get cosine of theta equals to this base length, which is AB, over the hypotenuse length delta y1. So you can write delta y1 as delta y, you can write AB as delta y1 cos theta. That's the value of L1 minus L2. What does it mean now? What does it mean by finding L1 minus L2? By finding L1 minus L2, which is delta y1 cos theta, we came to know that the length of string on this pulley, for this pulley, the length of string on the right side, which was initially L1 and now L2, has decreased. This length of string has decreased by the amount delta y1 cos theta. So on the other side of pulley, the length must increase by the same amount. Reason the string is inextensible. So if the length of string which increases on this side is delta y2, and length of string which decreases on this side, L1 minus L2, which is delta y1 cos theta, they have to be equal. So now you can write that delta y2 should be equals to delta y1 cosine theta. I will divide by time on both sides. So I can write delta y2 over delta t is delta y1 over delta t times cos theta. Now delta y2 is the distance moved by point P, which has instantaneous velocity of u. So distance over time will be the speed u. Delta y1 is the distance which is moved by capital M mass, which is traveling with speed v. So this distance by time should be v, and cosine theta. So this is the concept that u should be equals to v cos theta, and therefore v equals to u divided by cosine theta, and that's the perfect descriptive approach to solve this question. Right? So this is the subjective approach. Though many teachers or students solve this question by objective approach also, there is much faster objective approach to solve this question. But the problem with those methods is they will not make your concept very clear. You will always be confused whether I have to resolve u or I have to resolve v. That's the biggest confusion in the objective methods. So I recommend you to first go for subjective methods, at least for 3 to 4 problems. And when you solve 3 to 4 problems by subjective methods, then you try to understand the pattern. You try to understand the pattern of questions, and then only you can make some objective approach for such kind of questions. I recommend, and I strongly recommend, do not use objective approach until you have attempted such kind of questions with subjective approach. Till then, right, and I will discuss those objective approach also. I will discuss the objective approach in the new video, that how can we solve this relation very quickly, very fast. That I will discuss in new video. In a separate topic, how to write the constraint equations in a faster way. Till then, you watch this solution, try to understand this method, and obviously take care, stay home, stay safe, bye bye.